We are all aware of the benefits and reasons and the importance of expressing and sharing gratitude. On this episode, I'm going to talk with you about how you can create a stakeholder appreciation system. You're listening to the PHEC podcast, episode 380. The field of public health is so broad, overlapping multiple industries. With epidemiology at the core of public health, there are an unlimited number of ways to target specific populations, health conditions, environmental issues, and causes that matter most to you. My name is Dr. Huntley, and I'm the host here on the Public Health Epidemiology Conversations podcast. I'm an epidemiologist, consultant, and entrepreneur with over 20 years of experience in healthcare and public health. On this podcast, my guests and I engage in conversations that demonstrate the importance of public health and epidemiology across a variety of industries, helping you think outside the box and inspire greater positive impact in communities around the world. Now, let's dive into the topic of this brand new episode. Greetings, everyone, and thank you for joining me on this episode. On this episode today, it's going to be brief. I want to share a bit about gratitude. Across our country here in the U.S., and really even beyond the U.S., a lot of people embrace a spirit of thanksgiving and appreciation and gratitude in this season. And I want to pause for a moment from what we normally talk about on the podcast and just remind everyone of the power and importance of expressing gratitude, showing gratitude, especially in this time when we are facing so many challenges and a very stressful political climate. We feel like an uphill battle in terms of public health going into next year. We have a lot to do. That's without a doubt. There's a lot of challenges in front of us. We're a resilient group. We've faced challenges before, and we will do the good work. We will continue to show up and protect the health of the populations of people that we care so much about. That goes without saying. We have a shortage of people in the workforce. So we need to make sure that the people that are choosing this profession are staying. We need to take care of ourselves. I've talked about self-care quite a bit on previous episodes. But as we begin to wrap up this year, and my team and I, we're very deep in our strategic planning for next year, really deciding how are we going to show up differently? How are we going to serve differently? What do our clients need from us? And how can we be a part of improving health of the people that we care about? So a lot of us are in this planning phase and assessment phase. It's easy to think about what's broken, what's not working, what's missing, what's lacking. But I challenge you to embrace a spirit of gratitude. It's extremely important that we do this. And I'm going to share a very simple way to start to incorporate it. And not just for the season that we're in, where it's kind of popular to do this because everybody's talking about what they're grateful for. I think it's a great place to start. It's wonderful. But I'm talking about ongoing, like incorporate this into your strategic plan for 2025. So as we all know, this is common knowledge, right? As we look, a lot of you are very heavy into research in this arena, in this area, but this is common knowledge. I'm just going to remind you of a few things. Practicing gratitude is a powerful tool. It rewires our brains to focus on the positive aspects of life. It helps to reduce stress and anxiety around what we're dealing with, and it also helps to boost our mental well-being overall. It is particularly impactful in ways that it triggers a cascade of beneficial effects. And even down to just all sorts of relationships that are strengthened, personal and professional. So I'm going to share just a couple of ideas. It's really an idea of stakeholder appreciation system that you can create. And like I said, it's great to start it now, but really incorporate this going into the new year as you create your plans. And what I mean by that stakeholder appreciation system. So most of you, we actually have a very diverse audience here on this podcast. So I'm going to think about academics or the academia kind of genre and area, or also the government. So state, local, federal government systems. So a lot of you fall in one or the other category. You may be a student or working in academia or on one of the government levels. So a stakeholder appreciation system is really this. I'm talking about taking, like maybe on a rotating basis, thinking of who your stakeholders are and focusing on sharing or expressing gratitude on an alternating or rotating basis. So maybe you think about, I'm going to give 2 examples of stakeholders. So team members are extremely important. So if you're a student or your classmates, or maybe, your professors or so forth. If you are working in a government system, this could be your employees within your department. It could be people that you oversee. And maybe you are listening and you oversee multiple teams of people. So there's many opportunities to express gratitude to your team members. Your team members could be your people that you oversee, and it could be the people that you report to. It's important that we will do work. We finish a project, we check the box, we meet the deadline, and then we're off and running to the next thing. It is also very easy for us to go to someone on our team when something's missing or something's wrong, something needs to be revised or corrected. That's a very common go-to for a lot of people. I think it's equally important, like those things need to happen in a lot of cases, right? But it's equally important to let a team member know when they do something really well. And just in general, that you appreciate them. That is so overlooked, and it goes a long way. I did this in a conversation with a team member earlier today. She has been focused on this project for a little over almost 2 years. And what she's doing now, going in our plans for 2025, is as close to the vision we had for this program a couple of years ago than we've ever been. And I'm enthusiastic. I'm excited about that. And I just let her know. I said, thank you. Thank you for your hard work on this project. It has been up and down, hit or miss. It's been really kind of all over the place in some seasons of this last couple of years, but she goes back to back to work on it constantly and consistently. And now we have something that is, like I said, closest to that vision we had a couple of years ago than we've been. And I just let her know that I appreciated her effort. I appreciate her dedication and her hard work. And it really made her day. Now, it wasn't hard for me to do that. Like, I really sincerely meant it. I think it was just a matter of sometimes we'll think about what someone is doing and we appreciate it, but we don't open our mouths to express it or send them a message to say so. And I think that we will find plenty of opportunities to show gratitude toward our team members. Maybe even, I'll give you another example. Maybe you have a supervisor or someone that you report to that has been on your case about something and it just aggravated you. But now you've gotten to the point where you have mastered that thing and you really appreciate them for kind of staying on your toes and helping you to become that better version of yourself and develop that expertise or skill set in that area. That's happened to me more than once. Go back to that person and say, thank you. Thank you for supporting me all this, and really leaning into me and helping me to develop this level of expertise. I appreciate your mentorship and your guidance. Practicing gratitude goes a long way, a very long way. Give it a shot. And like I said, this is something that it doesn't matter where you are, from student to senior, higher level executive, really. You have an opportunity. If you're already doing this in some way, review what you're doing and make sure it's working. And maybe this is an opportunity to improve on whatever way that you're showing gratitude going into 2025. Maybe you used to do it and you've fallen off and you want to pick it back up. No judgment. I'm just encouraging you to do it because it's something that is within our control. In a time when it feels like so much is not within our control, this is something that is within our control, and it has such a strong impact. So I encourage you to find a way to show gratitude to your team members. Another part or example of your stakeholder appreciation system could be your community partners. So if you are, this is very common for those of you in government system, you lead a program, you're part of a program, and there are always partners. And sometimes your partners are other departments within your organization. Sometimes your community partners are those non-traditional partnerships, maybe like within the faith-based community or the technology group, or those partners that, for example, as I record this podcast, for public health professionals, that is going out to all of you in public health. One of my partners is our editing team, and they listen to these episodes. You would not. I was going to say, I would not want to have to edit my episodes anymore. I learned how to do it a long time ago. I could if I had to, but I would not want to edit these episodes, and you would not want me to edit these episodes. Trust me. And I just want to share, even in this moment as I'm talking to you about appreciation, I want to share my appreciation and show gratitude for the editing team that we have. They're amazing people to work with, and we've worked with them for several years. And yes, it's a contractual agreement. We pay them for their services, but it's beyond the payment for services. I appreciate the quality and the care and the work that they do and how they provide these episodes. They make them available to all of you who are listening from all around the world, literally. So my appreciation, I often do little shout outs to my editing team on these episodes, but I really do appreciate them. So there's so many ways that you can do it. You can show appreciation for your community partner. They are my community partner. They help me to do what I need to do. So think about who are your community partners and maybe a little list of those along with your team members. And your team members don't have to just be your coworkers. Your team members could be the people behind the scenes. Maybe your team members are at home and they help you prepare to do what you do every day. And maybe it's about showing gratitude to those team members, but have a list. Team members and community partners are a good starting point, but I'm sure you could think of many other stakeholders. And if you incorporate a way going into next year to share gratitude, show gratitude, anything from a simple thank you, I really appreciate what you do, and mean it from your heart, just a little message that you speak to them, or maybe it's a personal note that you write to them. Physical cards are super special to me right now because I received so many physical cards when we lost our son a few months ago. And I have them in a very special place because I don't get very many physical cards ordinarily. So I have all of the cards I received. I received a lot during that time. I keep them in a special place. And sometimes I just hold them or look through them or touch them, and it makes me feel supported and cared for. And I think that we forget how much these little things mean to people. So maybe part of how you express your gratitude could be a physical card or physical note that you share with someone. And thoughtful emails and coffee chats and lunch dates, all those go a long way to showing, expressing gratitude. So I encourage you to explore ways to do this and make it easy for you to share gratitude. And it really does come back full circle. Just remember that by regularly acknowledging what we're thankful for, we create a positive feedback loop, and it makes us more resilient and empathetic and effective, both in our personal and professional lives. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share with you on this podcast platform. I do appreciate all of you for listening to this podcast. A lot of you have listened from the very beginning, back in 2017 when we got started. You've been with me on this journey all these years. And some of you just discovered the podcast and you're new. I appreciate you all of you for listening. So until next time, have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you for listening to the Public Health Epidemiology Conversations podcast. Visit phecpodcast.com to find the show notes for each episode and to learn how to work with me.